Hey gamers, and welcome to the Gamer Channel. Hello, and welcome to the video. This is a lot different than what I usually do, but you know what? Different is good. So today, I'm going to do a thing that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So the shenanigan I have for you today is that I am going to review a whole bunch of e.l.f. products. If you don't know e.l.f., they are a very, very cheap makeup brand that you're able to get in Target or drugstores pretty much anywhere. They also have their own website, and they have a whole bunch of makeup options that you can choose from. I love e.l.f. Oh, wait, before I get any further, let me clarify this. I'm not sponsored by e.l.f. They have no idea who the hell I am. I just wanted to do this review because I really like their products, but at the same time I'd like to give an honest review because I remember back when I was really starting to do makeup at first, I would Google cheap but good makeup products, and I would always get e.l.f. as well as like Maybelline and Milani and everything like that. So I wanted to give an honest review because I remember what I was like when I was starting to do makeup, and I would like to help those children. Now, I'm not wearing makeup now because my skin, with all the stress of quarantine and the coronavirus, it's been breaking out a little bit. You'll see right there. Ugh, I hate it so much. But I didn't want to put any makeup on it because as good as my skin routine is normally, if I start doing some weird shit to it, like put a whole face of makeup on to record a video, it gets worse. Even with the moisturizer, priming, whatever, it still gets worse. That's just how my skin is. And actually, on that topic, let me say this for certain. All the stuff that I'm about to say for these products was only how I use them, and it was only specific to my type of skin and just in general, alright? My skin is kind of weird in that whenever I get really stressed or whenever just a lot of stuff is happening, it actually kind of changes. Like normally it's combination skin with it getting dry right here and on my forehead, and then it getting oily around like my nose area and my chin and everything like that. But whenever I get really stressed, it's just all oil all the time. Maybe it's because I'm sweating, I don't know. I've been trying to do whatever I can, but you know, times are tough. So, I just wanted to make it clear that everything that I'm about to say for these products is only specific for me, because all of these products will be different for each and every person, especially in terms of like if you have either combination skin or oily skin or dry skin, etc., you know? So, today, I have a whole bunch of e.l.f. products. I have been collecting them for years. Back about 4 years ago was when I first started to do makeup, and it was kind of weird. You would see me, and you wouldn't think that I would like makeup, but I loved makeup. It was kind of weird because normally, the social norm for girls is that they should feel weird about like liking anime or being a nerd and stuff. For me, it was the exact opposite because I grew up in a family of nerds, so it was like I felt weird about wanting to do makeup and like wanting to make my hair nice or wanting to make myself look pretty, etc., but in the end, my love of it won out, and now I have been buying makeup and doing my makeup for quite a while. So, I hope you enjoy this. So, without any further ado, let's get into the reviewing. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the eyeshadows. Eyeshadows are my favorite part of any e.l.f. product. Like, back whenever I was first starting it. Actually, this was a few years before I started really getting into makeup. For one of my birthdays, one of my aunts got me this! This is the first ever really big makeup thing that I ever got, and lo and behold, it was e.l.f. It's called Sugar Kiss by e.l.f. and it's party edition. We having a party. And it's just this cute little eyeshadow palette. I don't use it anymore because it's hella old, but I like keeping it around for sentimental value because I can just be like, oh, this was the first thing I ever did the makeup on. This was the first ever major eyeshadow thing I ever got. And of course it's by e.l.f., of course! And I didn't realize back whenever I was starting to do this that it was by e.l.f. After like 2 years of me doing makeup, I found this because I like keeping things in multiple places, and then when you clean it out, you find it later. I found this, and I found out it was by e.l.f., and I was just like, oh, it was meant to be. So, back when I first started using this and I didn't really know how to use makeup, this was great. If there is something I can say about e.l.f., it's that it is really good for starter makeup people. Like, if you ever want to start doing makeup, like, e.l.f. is one of the best because not only is it affordable, it's easily accessed, and it's actually really easy to use if you're doing this kind of stuff that I do, which is basic blending and basic just coverage and not too fancy like eyeshadow looks. Like, the most fancy I ever did was my prom look, maybe, but I've done a few other ones since then. It's really good for blending, but that was just the first one. The next one I have is this baby. This I bought with my own money. This wasn't a gift. And it is called the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders. Specifically, I could tell you the name of it. No, I cannot. No, it is just e.l.f. the 18 Hit Wonders. And that is these pretty colors right there. Please don't judge that it's so dirty. It just means that I use it a lot. Obviously, the green. I'm gonna be honest, there's a story as to why that looks like that, and it's not because I used it. Anyway, so this is really good. It's one of my favorites to ever use. I use it all the time whenever I'm just like, whenever I go out. What I usually do is I'll do a base face, and then I'll just put a little bit on top of my eyes. Because of my glasses and everything, I can't really go too expressive on the eyeshadow because they get like hidden behind here. So I usually just do kind of a liner, but a liner with the eyeshadow of me just going around the eye with a color that I like and that matches my outfit. I'm the type that will match not only the makeup to the outfit, but the outfit to the makeup if I have a different idea for the makeup that day. It helps when you have like just a whole bunch of different colors. So there's that. The next thing is actually, it's kind of in the same vein. It's another one of these kinds of packages, and it is the new Classics. My father got this for me for Christmas. I haven't really had a chance to use it, but look at those colors. Those are some good neutrals, some good pinks that you can just play around with, and those shimmery colors on the bottom. Oh, look at that orange, rose gold, sorry. Oh, but that nice taupe orange right there, it's called Darling. Oh, that's so cute. You can tell I haven't really used this all that much, because I don't really use neutrals all that much. When I do, it's probably because I'm going to an actual, like, fancy event, which, can you imagine me at a fancy event, like, with my loud ass? Anyway, it would be with, like, a fancy event where I'd only be able to use neutrals in, like, a normal cocktail dress, or maybe even this kind of outfit, you know? But there's that. Actually, this would be a perfect palette to use with this outfit. Like, put that on the insides and then well, actually, no, I'd put that one on the inside of my eyes and then cover it in that. Ooh! And then do the edge with that. Maybe I'll do a makeup look for that. Alright, there's that palette. I'm a big fan of that palette. So, these two in the same vein, Hit Wonders and the new Classics. The next thing is this. The big boy. It is, I actually have a story about this. I got this at a resale shop. Now, I know what you're thinking, and to stop thinking that. It was still in package. I went with my aunt. We had a good aunt-niece, like 3-day kind of get-together where me and her just hung out for a bit. And we went to a lovely little thrift shop that's right by her house. And the thrift shop actually has an agreement with the Target in that area to sell them their old products that they're not going to use anymore. And one of the things was this just giant e.l.f. palette. And it actually was funny because the first time we went there, it didn't have a price tag on it. And so my aunt told me you can't get that because you can only have you can only get it whenever a manager is there to price it. And so I was very sad. But then we went there the next day, and a manager was there to price it. So I stole this for $7. Like, hell yeah. Like, I don't know. Wait, 1, 2, it's 10 by 10. 100 colors for $7. And it's e.l.f., so obviously it's going to be powdery and easily used. Excuse me, nothing. I would pay $10 for that. And I'd probably pay 15, but we're not going to talk about that. Either way, I got a big old e.l.f. palette and a nice story to go along with it. I love that thing so much. You can see that I have been using the blues more than anything else because surprisingly, despite it being my favorite color, I don't have a lot of orange in my closet. I have 3 or 4 orange shirts. And the thing is, I use my ColourPop for that. My aunt, that same aunt I went on that trip with, gave me the Leo ColourPop eyeshadow well, and that is an amazing thing, and I love using it because it's shimmery and stuff. So, but this is an e.l.f. video, isn't it? So there's that. It's really good. It's nice and, what's the word? It's nice and powdery. It sticks pretty well as long as you, what I like to do is if I want it to stay for a very long time, I'll go ahead and apply it, and then I'll put a little bit of setting powder onto my brush and then apply it again to make sure it sits, and then as well as just setting your whole face. Oh! So, you know how earlier I was talking about how this was the first thing I ever really got in terms of, like, makeup? This is the first thing I ever got for myself in terms of makeup. And again, it's e.l.f. brand. I can't believe how much of the stuff that I started doing makeup with is e.l.f. brand. I'm not going to show you the inside of it because it's old, and so it's a little torn up. I got this when I was like 13, I think. And the main reason I got it was because I wanted to be a vampire for Halloween, and this was on sale. And so I got it for the dark looks, and specifically because it had fake eyelashes and black lip color. Did it have black lip color? Yes, it did. And so I got this for it, and it was great. Actually, I have the lip color right here. Here's the lip color it came with. I was going to talk about that later, but there it is. This fun fact is really the only lip color I have for this, and it's I have of e.l.f. They did release a lot of lipsticks and stuff, but I haven't been to the store in a long time, so I haven't been able to get it. I haven't been able to get a lot of makeup recently, because so there it is, nice and black, and actually sticks pretty well. The only thing I have against this, the lip color, is that it's sticky, and I don't really like sticky and like lip gloss and stuff like that. I always have like matte lipsticks or like just the sticks instead of like glossy, because I don't think lip gloss really looks good on me, just because the shininess of it doesn't really blend well with my look, especially because I have what I like to call a soft goth look, where there will be like dark and muted colors on me, but then a bright thing of color, like probably the shirt where everything else is dark. I'm actually wearing kind of that kind of outfit today with the white shirt, but the nice maroon pants. So I usually don't do lip glosses because it doesn't look good. Lip glosses, I think, are usually good with more of a cutesy kind of maybe cocktail dress or stuff like that. I do have those looks and I wear them sometimes, not a lot though, so, you know. So I think, yes, that's all of the eyeshadow. Here, let me do a nice big thing of showing them off. I do like these. If I were to give any like actual like something's bad about them, I would say be very careful, because like I was saying earlier, they are very powdery, and if you are not careful and you're using a really big brush to do like the lid, or maybe whenever you're trying to do a nice wing for a smoky, they will tend to wander if you're just like putting it on there really quickly. So just be wary and make sure that if you're doing your eyes first before your actual face, you have a what's that word? You have a wipe on you so that you can, like, especially if you're trying to go for a really structured wing, so that when you put it on you can just wipe it in case it just wanders. But other than that, they do really well. You just have to make sure that you have a good setting spray too, so that they don't smudge too much. Next thing on our list is eyebrows. Fun fact, my eyebrows are very important to me. Like, you can't really tell now, but they are very important to me. I always want them to be tame, structured, in whatever way. This is them natural. They don't have any work done, but whenever I put anything on them, it is going to be clean, it is going to be sharp, and it is going to be good. So, when e.l.f., I didn't know going into this, I only had e.l.f. eyeshadows. I didn't know they had eyebrow products, and for the longest time, I didn't use e.l.f. eyebrow products. But today, I have them, because I started using them like about a year back. And I would love to share my opinions of them with you. So, right now, the first thing is always going to be when you powder your eyebrows. Now, I have two here Fun fact, I thought I lost one of these at my aunt's house. Again, my aunt coming into the story. Thought I lost one of these at my aunt's house, and so I was very sad, and so I bought another one. And then my aunt came around later and was just like, oh, here you go. And now I have 2 of them. I have 2 just giant pots. Here, let me show you off. Show off. See, look, it's been used. There, that's the older one. And actually, another funny thing, these are 2 different colors. This one is medium brown, while this one is espresso. Or espresso. See, they've both been used. So, oh boy. I usually use the medium brown because kinda that matches my eyebrows. My eyebrows are really weird in terms of like, I guess that's closer just in this camera, but whenever I do my makeup, it's the medium brown that looks better. So there are these. These are, if you don't know how to use these, what you do is you take an angled brush and then you dip it in here and you get some product on it, and then you put it in your eyebrow to basically on top and on bottom to really shape the brow. You're really seeing my naked brows now. And you do it on top and on bottom to shape, and not only shape, but also contour the brow. And then afterwards you'll go in with like a concealer or that thing that they just came out with an e.l.f, which I really want, which is the eyeshadow like base, and then you'll go in and you'll go ahead and draw it over. It's basically drawing on your face. You're drawing your eyebrow into a sharper shape. That's what this is for. This is for that. For the longest time I used this religiously, but then I started to realize I have thick eyebrows, thick dark eyebrows on my own. I don't really need this, but I still liked using it because it was a routine, and I like how dark they look with this, because usually if I'm doing full liquid foundation, bake, set, everything, I'm going for a dramatic look, and that means my eyebrows need to be dark and ready to cut a bitch. That's what that means. But later, when I started to realize I didn't really need to do my eyebrows so big and dark, I got this baby. I got this baby, and this is the eyebrow. This is basically just the eyebrow kit that e.l.f. has, and there is the pomade right there. That's the name of this, by the way, pomade. There's the pomade right there, but there's also the shadow right here. Oh, you can see see into infinite dimensions. There's also this shadow right here to fill in the eyebrow. So you'd basically take the pomade and draw that shape I was talking about earlier, but then you'd take the shadow and fill it in if you're someone like me who has already dark brows and just needs a little bit more of a condensed shape to it. You know? So that's what this is for. And yeah, so here is the pomade and brush mixes. If I were to ever want to do like colored brows or anything like that, I'd use the eyeshadows because they're really good and stuff like that. So there are these. Whenever you're done making sure your eyebrows are ready to cut a bitch, there is right here. This is one of my favorite things, and it is basically eyebrow. Oh, what's the best way to describe this? You put it on your eyebrows, and then you brush it onto your eyebrows, and they stay. It's an eyebrow like brushed and gel that just makes your eyebrows stay. Except this e.l.f. came out with one that's colored. They have a generic like clear one, but I didn't want that. I wanted the colored one because it makes your eyebrows look a lot more full. Whenever you put it on, the dye and the makeup that's in here will actually fill in the brow. And oh no, I dropped it. There's going to be a lot of dropping in this video, and I really like the look of that, so here it is. And actually, whenever I'm doing just like daily makeup, I'll just put this on my brows, and that's it. Because whenever I'm doing daily makeup, it's just a quick powder foundation, blush, with a little bit of bronzer, and maybe some highlighter if I'm feeling fancy, and then basic eye look, and then this on the brows, and that's it. And then setting spray, and go out the door, 20 minutes or less. So this I really like. One thing you gotta be careful with is that it gets everywhere. So if you're ever messy during doing your makeup, don't wear your nice clothes while wearing this. Specifically, a white shirt or pants. I don't want to talk about it. Alright, so that, I believe... So, here, let me show off these again. The pomades, the shadow, and the pomade, shadow, and the gel. Oh, what's the name for it? Oh, this is medium, by the way. I'm a medium in terms of hair color. So there they are. These are probably, but it goes like eyeshadows and then this in terms of my favorite products by e.l.f. Love them, love them. These are great because they make my eyebrows look so dramatic. And that's all that I want in a pomade. I just want it to be smooth to put on and then smooth to make it look fantastic. And those pomades do it. Those are honestly my favorite ones because another pomade that I used to use would be too crumbly for some reason. Like I would even put in setting spray to like mix it all up and it still wouldn't really work. And primer. I would try those both and see if it would stop being so crumbly. And it didn't. So I'm really glad that those are as smooth as they are. Next, we're going to talk about the face stuff. Now, you'll notice some things that I don't have, which is foundation. I haven't really found a good shade match for my foundation yet. It might be because I haven't been looking hard enough, or my Target doesn't really carry the shade that's best for me, but if you haven't noticed, a bitch is white as hell, and these LED lights aren't helping that at all, and the white shirt. I just realized I probably look like a fucking ghost, or a vampire, whichever is your fancy. So, I haven't been able to find a good e.l.f. foundation for my face yet, but I'm still holding out hope, especially since I saw that they came out with a whole bunch of new like concealers and everything. I haven't been able to get those, but that's okay. So maybe one day I'll be able to get one that's white enough for my skin. I really hope so. I really hope so because I love e.l.f. products and I'd love to just have nothing but an e.l.f. routine, but we're not at that point yet because, like I said earlier, a bitch is white as hell. So, the first face thing we're going to talk about is what you should always start with when you're doing your makeup. When doing your makeup, you should always start with this: washing your skin. Now, I honestly am not using this anymore, but I used to. This was the daily face cleanser, but like I said earlier about my face changing textures whenever I'm incredibly stressed, I had to get a new skin routine because this wasn't cutting it anymore. I needed something with a little bit more oomph. But this is very good if you have like oily skin and stuff like that. This is great for cleaning your face. I love it. I wish that I was able to get a better, one of the better ones, one of the stronger ones that e.l.f. makes, because I know they make stronger face washes. But I haven't gone outside in a good 2 months. So, this is great for if you have basic combination skin and you need a quick, nice face cleanser to make yourself feel nice. And it smells nice too, which is something that a lot of people take for granted in terms of face cleansers. You'll get some face cleansers that just smell really weird. Anyway, so after you wash your face, you need to moisturize it. You need to do whatever you need to make sure that it is a perfect canvas. And then you prime it. I have 2 e.l.f. primers. These are another few of the things I have been using for the longest time. I currently have 2 here. This one is for everyday use. This is the one that I use for everyday. I actually mixed this with like 2 other primers from 2 other companies to make sure that my face is nice and just primed within an inch of its life so that nothing gets to my skin. But this is the good hydrating face primer. They've come out with a whole bunch of other ones recently that I would love to try, but again, money and going outside are tough. So, that is the daily face primer. What I have here is what I used on my prom night, and it is the illuminating face primer, and it is basically golden, and whenever you put it on your skin, it shimmers. I felt like because the theme for my prom night was a night in Rome dipped in gold, some fancy shit, I don't know. I felt weird being there in general, but I wanted to make sure I had some gold on me, and this baby did the trick, let me tell you, because I started with the primer, then I put on my foundation, and then I highlighted every inch of my face. I looked shiny as all hell. And actually, probably use a picture of that right now. And this was the highlighter I used for that. And yeah, these primers are really good, but but for me, with my skin, it's a bit weird, so I do have to combine this with 2 other ones. But if you have just, yeah, like I was saying earlier, basic combination, or for this, I would honestly go with drier skin. If you have combination and drier skin, this is really good for everyday use. And then if you want to be fancy as all hell, you get this boy, the illuminating to make yourself golden. Alright, there are the primers. And then after you prime yourself within an inch of your life so that you are fully ready for that full face of makeup that you're going to go out and slay everyone in, then you start with concealers. But I will say that of all the e.l.f. products, the most disappointing for me specifically, because again, I'm white as hell. And this, nah. Especially since this is the, I don't remember what kind it was called. It was a quick concealer that I wanted to get for specifically under my eyes and on top of my eyes as an eyeshadow base. But this is like a year or 2 old. They have a new one out that I haven't tried yet, so don't take my word for like all products like this for e.l.f. But this was the sheer concealer. It doesn't match my skin tone. Whenever I first used it, and this was darker than my foundation, so I was kind of sad because I was so excited to finally get an e.l.f. Concealer, but it didn't match. And so I was like, I'm not going to lose hope with e.l.f. foundations just yet. I keep dropping things. I'm not going to lose hope with e.l.f. concealers just yet, and so I bought this one. I don't know what it's called. But the color is fair, and I would say I'm fair. I'm white. I'm pitch white. You're pitch black? No. I'm pitch white. I almost match my shirt. And this was another concealer. I should have known just looking at it. That's still not my color. And with these, the color dries darker than the actual liquid, which is something you always have to keep in mind for conditioners, foundations, no matter what. If it dries darker than your skin tone, you're going to have to be aware of that. That's why it's good to test things out. Get mini testers of it now and again. This, actually, I don't really have that big of a problem with. These are, I don't use the concealer side, I use the shiny side. But this is the eye concealer and highlighter. I don't use the concealer, again, because I can't really find a good e.l.f. product that matches my skin tone. This is probably the closest I could get, but even that's still a little bit darker than my actual skin. So, yeah. The highlighter part is fun, though, because it is just shiny as all hell. Look at that. Iridescent. Fantastic. That part's fun to use on this. But none of the concealers I have really are able to match my skin tone. But if you're darker than me, which a lot of people are, e.l.f. probably has a product that'll match you pretty well. I'm just incredibly white. And then once you put, and like I said earlier, I don't have an e.l.f. foundation. I did, but I gave it to my mother because it suited her way more than it suited me. And I like giving my mother gifts. So, after you've concealed, after you wash your face, you moisturize it, you prime it, you put your foundation on, unless you put your concealer on and then your foundation, and then you blend it all together, you put some bronzer, some blush on, and then you put your eyeshadow on, which we already talked about, and then you put your eyebrows on. This is how I do it. And after you've contoured everything, then you set it. I set before I put my lipstick on. I don't know why, it's just a thing with me. I'm gonna be honest, it's usually because I forget to put the lipstick on and I'm just so happy that all the time I used on my face is finally over, and so I just want to set it and forget it. Like, what is that from? Set it and forget it. You've contoured everything you want to highlight within an inch of your life, right? And so, you get a highlighter. Now, this was my first disappointment. Yes, I was disappointed by concealers and stuff like that, but this was really my first disappointment with e.l.f. I actually bought this back whenever I was first getting makeup. The first ever makeup, like actual makeup trip I made. I got a whole bunch of stuff. It was at Walmart. I remember this clearly. And I grabbed this for a highlighter, because I thought it would be nice. It doesn't do it for me. It doesn't like powder enough. It doesn't go on well. It doesn't stick well. It's not shiny enough for me. I'm the type of person that loves a highlighter to be poppin'. Like, I should look like I am trying to outshine the sun with this. But it didn't really work, and not only that, it doesn't really match well with my skin tone and stuff like that. This was my first major disappointment with e.l.f. They've come out with better highlighters since this, and you should totally still go for it, but the Moonshine highlighter, I wouldn't go for that one. That's my only big, like, criticism, me. So after you've highlighted within an inch of your life, you make sure every one of those points, your tip of your nose, the points on your cheeks, the top of your lip, maybe even down the nose, and a little bit on the forehead and a little bit on the chin, which is what I do because I have a weird face and there's a lot of like points that are elevated for some reason. It's a very round face, so it's very round in terms of everything. Cheeks, chin, like eyes, everything is round. You set within an inch of your life. And I dropped it. Either with a setting spray at the very end, or with setting powder. I have a collection of setting powder. It's one of the things that even if I have it, I will buy more of because I love setting powder. Now, I have two types of setting powder here. I have the compact, which you would usually see like that, and I always have to get the white one because, again, white as hell. And it just goes like this, like that. See, you can see my foundation color on there already. And then I would dab it along these areas, and then this area, basically forehead, around the nose, on the chin, and maybe a little bit on the jawline. And then that's just the basic like quick set. But if I'm baking a cake of face, let's not get this on the nice pants, I would use this boy, and this is loose setting powder. You probably see it a lot if you watch makeup videos. This is the stuff that they put on the sponge and they put on their face. I am notorious for using a whole bunch of it, which is actually kind of bad for your skin if you have dry skin and you don't moisturize correctly. Sorry, it was powdery. And I am always baking with an inch of my life. So yeah, the color for all of these is sheer. Well, actually, wait. This one's sheer, and then these two are clear because Perfect Finish HD powder. That's what that one's specifically called. And then this one is just setting powder. Again, white as hell. Literally, I can't have anything that has even a tint to it, or it makes my face look weird. There's that. You set within an inch of your life, and nothing's moving. And then after you brush away all the extra, and then you use this, my lovely, lovely Matte Magic Mist and Set. I have never been one to be able to do the dewy. I remembered it. It's matte and dewy. I've never been able to make dewy look good, which is weird because considering my face and how round it is and how like my face structure is like that, you'd think dewy would look good on me. It doesn't. I don't know. I don't know why. I want it to look good because I want to have like a soft kind of look about me, but it doesn't. Maybe one day I'll do a video where I just do a whole bunch of dew makeup and make myself look like I just came out the pool. Anyway, this is the Matte Magic Mist and Set. So is this. I have 2 bottles of it, and what I usually do is I actually use this, and forgive me, drugstore makeup gods, for I have sinned. I'll use this in an Urban Decay setting spray, and I'll take them both and I'll shake them up, and then I'll basically just spray it all over my face, and then I'll fan myself, and then I'll do another spray again. That's one thing I learned from Nikki Tutorials. The main thing you have to do when setting your face is that you gotta spray, and then you gotta fan yourself as quick as you can so that it sinks into your skin properly and makes it look fantastic and set and together, you know? So that's these babies. I love these, honestly. in terms of like starter setting sprays, these are the best thing you can ever do. And just trust me on that, they're great. And they're cheap. That's one thing I haven't talked about. All of these products are incredibly cheap for their value. Like, ridiculously cheap. Like this baby, this will probably last me another 2 years. This shit is only $12. Like, what? Anyway, that's, I love e.l.f. basically. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video is that I love e.l.f. even if some of their products don't specifically work for me, you know? So, please, now. Oh, I forgot, I have mascara too. This is the mascara. It is hella weird looking in terms of the wand, because like, look at that wand. It's like freaking, it has a nub. And I know why it has a nub. It's to get like those little baby hairs like right in there for the eyelashes. And it goes on really clumpy a little bit. It's good for if you want to really, if you don't have very long eyelashes and you really want to just bring them out and make them pop, but I naturally have decent sized eyelashes, I would like to say. And so I don't have to have too much issue with doing that. So it's a little clumpy for me, but if you have shorter eyelashes and you want to go for that big glamorous look, this is good for you. When I show there's also this, another setting powder I have, and it is the eye setting powder. So basically, after you put on all that concealer and you're making sure your face is nice and set, you specifically put this under your eyes, and to make sure that they set well, and that because and everything like that, because one of the most sweaty and like oily parts of our face is under the eyes. If you're going out and doing stuff, if you apply that, it'll make sure your makeup doesn't move as much or break apart in the eye area and stuff like that. It's really good. I love that stuff. Oh, I didn't show you my glitter. All right, so I have glitter. Glitter is great. I love glitter. If you can't tell, I'm a very I like gold. Like gold and stuff like that is just one of my favorite things. Orange is my favorite color, and a lot of orange has a bit of an and a lot of gold has a bit of an orange tint. I love gold. And this I actually got specifically for my prom night. You know that thing I was talking about earlier? Because a night in Rome dipped in gold, I wanted to get gold to put on my eyelids, and I did that. And here, I'll show the makeup look right now if I haven't already. Boom. And so that I just put this on my eyelids after I did the basic lid and kind of smoky eye. It was kind of a smoky eye. I don't know how to describe it actually. It was a bit of a smoky eye, but more of a, I wanted to bring attention to my eyes. And so I put this on over that and under the eyes and a little bit just all over the face wherever it was needed to make me look hella shiny, because that's all I cared about in that moment. And then let me go ahead and show you my e.l.f. brushes. This is a kabuki brush that I have. My dad also got me this for Christmas. It's really good for, I'm not going to put it on my face because I don't want anything to get, any stray things to get in the pores. It's really good for setting powder and stuff like that, or if you want to do blush, it's really good for blush blending and stuff like that. Kabuki brush, fancy. I don't know what specifically these are used for, but that's how I use them. This setting powder brush, easy peasy, 1-2 squeezy. It's really good for after you bake. You can use this to get rid of the excess really quickly because it's a nice fluffy brush. Foof, foof. Then there's also the contouring brush and the foundation brush. These are actually from the same set. This is good for just contouring and taking that darker bronzer and stuff like that and just going and like under the chin and everything like that. Foundation brush, you put it on your face and then you, it's kind of self-explanatory. I don't know how to talk about these brushes. These are some of the oldest brushes I have. I don't really use them a lot more anymore because I use sponges now. But back when I was doing this, I would usually take, it was really good for coverage. I would say that maybe a little bit sticks too much on the actual brush, but that might be because of how I was using it and not specifically the brush's fault, because I didn't really know how to use brushes and stuff like back then. This is a quick eyeshadow brush, or actually what I use it for this is the brush for the eye setting powder, and I just dip it in there and I go foo 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 foo, and it stays on there without getting too clumped. These two are kind of weird. Not in terms of like they're bad or anything like that. No. These are actually really good. In fact, this what I'm playing with right here, eyeliner and eyeshadow, but it is specifically a kohl eyeliner. And the shadow part is the part that's weird about it, because literally you can just do like over your eye. I've never used it. I'm going to be honest with you, I've never used the shadow part of this. I've only used this part because this has been the really the only eyeliner that I can get under my eyelid and to do a tight line and stuff like that. Oh, I hope none of y'all were really pissed about the necklace. This has been really the only eyeliner I can get to work for that, so it's really good. I like it. It's just I've never used the shadow part of it, and it's just weird. This is called, I don't know, dual eyeliner shadow stick. That's what we'll call it. And then this is weird. I don't really use this. I got this because I thought I needed it, but this fell off. Elf gods, don't persecute me. Please, I love your products. It's an eye, not eye. This is a lip primer and plumper. I don't really use it. Like, back when I did use it for a bit because I thought I needed it, you basically put the plumper on and then you put the primer on. And the weird thing is, the plumper, I think this is actually intentional. It smells and tastes a little like cinnamon, and I suppose that's because like cinnamon is a good plumper and it makes your lips more and it like not burns, but it definitely activates the like receptacles in your lips so that they're plumper and like redder or something. I don't really see it used for that. None of my looks rely on my lips as a major part, because I don't really have enough lip to work with in that department, and so I never really saw use to doing this. Back when I first got this, I was just like, it looked cool, and it did look cool, and it still looks cool, it's just I don't use it. Let's see. The last two things, one of them I actually did a video on already. e.l.f. brand brush, wait, what is it called? Solid sponge cleanser. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out the first video on this channel called Alex Loses Her, Testing Both the Camera and My Sanity. That's the name of that episode. I'm so proud of that, by the way. And basically, this is just a brush cleanser. You get it wet, and then you would get this wet, and then you take the brush, and then you you swoosh it around on it, and then you wash out the brush, and then you let it dry. It's really good. It's actually really effective. Yeah, it's just, I really like it. It doesn't leave any weird residue in the brushes, and it just cleans it really well. And while I'm cleaning it, I also use this thing. This is a brush cleanser paddle thingy that I like to use, and basically you see those little nodes and everything. You would take the brush that you're cleaning and you get it wet, and then you use the brush cleanser, you rinse it off, and then while you're getting the brush soap on it, you also do this all over it to make sure that all that gross stuff gets off it, all that old makeup and everything on the brush gets off it, and then you wash this off, and yay! You have a clean brush. Now set it out to dry, but set it upside down so that not only does the shape get maintained, but also nothing stays in the bristles to mold. Anyway. So yeah. That's all my e.l.f. products. I have a lot of them. I've been buying e.l.f. for a very long time, for many years, and it has been one of the main products I go to in terms of I want a good product, you know? I want something that will last me a while and look good on me while doing it. Again, I did have a few shortcomings with some of them, but for the most part, e.l.f. hasn't done me dirty in any way. And I'm sure it wouldn't do you dirty if you wanted to try it. I hope you enjoyed this video, because I actually really enjoyed making it, because all of these have a story behind them of me either getting them or just me using them in some way, because I've been using makeup for a while and it's one of my favorite hobbies, so yeah! Welcome to the Glamour Gamer channel, where me, Alex, the Glamour Gamer, will yell at you about so many different products that I use, but you never see because I don't wear makeup in my videos, but that's okay. I wear makeup every other time. So, yeah. I hope this made you consider using e.l.f. products because they're affordable, they're colorful, they're easily used, and they are just a good well-rounder that you can start with so that you can elevate yourself if you ever wanted to change products. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I hope you just think about using e.l.f. because e.l.f. is fun, and I like it. So, yeah. Remember, I believe in you, and have a good day, and this was a different kind of a video, but let me know if you liked it, because I liked making it. And, yeah, please don't get angry at me, e.l.f. I love your products, and I am not sponsored in any way. They don't even know who I am. But that's okay, because I definitely know who they are. Bye!